Hey Switch fans, welcome back to SwitchTop. If you're like me and love the peaceful grind of planting crops, raising animals, and building up your own little paradise, then you're in for a treat. Today, we're counting down the top 20 best farming games on Nintendo Switch. These games will have you losing track of time as you perfect your farm, build relationships with townsfolk, and create the virtual homestead of your dreams. Let's get into it. Dinkum stands out on Nintendo Switch as a relaxed, yet systems-driven farming and life simulation game set on a lively island inspired by the Australian outback, mixing cozy progression with light survival elements. You start as a newcomer helping a small settlement grow, and the game steadily opens into a rewarding loop built around farming, crafting, exploration, and town expansion. Crops follow seasonal rhythms, animals provide resources, and the terrain encourages mining, fishing, bug catching, and hunting, all of which feed into crafting better tools and developing your homestead. Stamina management adds structure without feeling restrictive, and the island's varied biomes create a sense of discovery as you gather materials or track down unique wildlife. NPCs visit your settlement over time, offering tasks, unlockable shops, and long-term upgrades that shape how your town evolves. Cooperative play enhances the experience, letting friends join your world to help build, gather, and explore. The story stays light, but gives purpose to the steady growth of your community, making each improvement feel earned while keeping the focus on player freedom and creativity. Littlewood offers a warm, laid-back take on farming and town building on Nintendo Switch, placing you in the role of a hero who has already saved the world and now turns their energy toward rebuilding a quiet village from the ground up. The experience leans into freedom and creativity, letting you gather resources, craft tools, construct buildings, and reshape the terrain as you develop a settlement that reflects your own style. Farming plays a part but remains comfortably streamlined, allowing crops to support your progress without overwhelming the broader flow of exploration, mining, fishing, and bug catching. Each resident you recruit adds personality and utility, unlocking new crafting paths, shop functions, or town upgrades that enhance long-term progression. With no harsh time limits, the game encourages a relaxed rhythm where you can spend a day decorating the landscape, chasing materials, or deepening relationships through quests and conversations. The light narrative focuses on rediscovery, gently revealing memories and past bonds while emphasizing community and growth. Fae Farm brings a magical twist to farming by setting your adventure in the enchanted world of Azoria, where you'll cultivate crops infused with magical properties and brew potions alongside traditional farming activities. The story involves mysterious whirlpools appearing around the island that lead to dungeons filled with resources and danger, and you'll gradually uncover the secrets behind these mystical occurrences. The farming system is polished with seasonal crops, livestock care, and the unique addition of magical plants that require special growing conditions. Combat is surprisingly engaging for a farming sim, with real-time battles against creatures in dungeons where you'll use spells and weapons to defend yourself while gathering precious materials. The crafting extends beyond typical farm items to include potion brewing, where you mix ingredients to create helpful elixirs that boost your abilities or help with farming tasks. You can play solo or team up with up to 3 friends in online co-op, working together to build up your farms and tackle dungeons. Harvest Moon One World takes you on a journey across 5 completely different regions, each with unique climates, crops, and animals you won't find anywhere else. The story begins in a world where nobody has seen real vegetables in ages, and you're tasked with reviving agriculture by collecting harvest wisps that unlock new seeds from the harvest goddess. Instead of staying on one static farm, you'll be traveling between tropical beaches, snowy mountains, desert oases, and more, adapting your farming strategy to each environment's conditions. The core gameplay involves tilling soil, planting crops that are region-specific, watering them daily, and harvesting to sell or use in cooking recipes. You'll raise animals like cows, sheep, and chickens, processing their products into valuable goods while also caring for exotic creatures unique to each area. The game includes traditional Harvest Moon elements like participating in festivals, building relationships with marriage candidates across different towns, and upgrading your tools to work more efficiently. Animal Crossing New Horizons gives you a deserted island and complete freedom to turn it into whatever you can imagine, whether that's a tropical paradise, a bustling cityscape, or a cozy countryside retreat. You start with a tent and basic tools, then gradually expand by gathering resources like wood, stone, and iron to craft better equipment and furniture. The real-time clock means the game changes with actual seasons and time of day, with different fish, bugs, and events appearing throughout the year. You'll be planting trees and flowers, arranging them to achieve that perfect island aesthetic, while also decorating every inch of your island with thousands of furniture items and custom designs. The core loop involves collecting resources, crafting or buying items, completing tasks for your animal neighbors, and slowly paying off home loans to expand your house. Fishing and bug catching are huge parts of the experience, with a museum you'll want to fill with every creature and fossil you can find. Terraforming lets you reshape your island's landscape by creating cliffs, rivers, and waterfalls exactly where you want them. Story of Seasons, Pioneers of Olivetown puts you in charge of revitalizing your grandfather's old, overgrown farm in a town that's seen better days. The story focuses on transforming the wilderness into productive farmland, while helping Olivetown attract tourists and regain its former glory. You'll spend your days clearing debris, chopping trees, smashing rocks, and expanding your usable land bit by bit, which feels genuinely rewarding as you watch the transformation happen. The farming mechanics are deep with crop rotation considerations, different soil types that affect growth, and a huge variety of seeds to plant across all 4 seasons. Livestock care goes beyond basic feeding. You'll be brushing animals, talking to them to raise affection, and breeding them to get higher quality products that sell for more money. The Maker system lets you process raw materials into valuable goods, like turning milk into cheese or crops into pickles, creating production chains that maximize profit. You can choose between 2 romance options with different personalities in each gender, building relationships through conversations and gifts until you eventually get married and start a family. Big Farm's story combines traditional farming with a mysterious narrative about a sick valley that needs healing through your agricultural efforts. The story involves discovering ancient magic tied to the land while you work to restore the valley's natural beauty and uncover secrets left behind by previous inhabitants. The farming mechanics feel modern and streamlined. You're planting crops in organized plots, raising animals in designated areas, and processing goods through various production buildings you construct. The game introduces a unique building system where you can customize your farm's layout extensively, placing structures wherever you want and decorating with tons of cosmetic items to create your ideal farmstead. Resource management plays a bigger role here than in some other farming games, as you'll need to balance producing goods for quests, selling items for income, and keeping materials for crafting upgrades. The exploration element has you venturing into different areas of the valley, clearing obstacles and unlocking new regions that expand your available farming space and introduce new crops and animals. Quests drive the progression forward, with characters asking for specific items or tasks that reward you with blueprints, recipes, and story revelations. Rune Factory, Guardians of Azuma, takes the series to a Japanese-inspired setting for the first time, blending farming simulation with action RPG combat and dungeon crawling. The story follows you as an Earth Dancer, someone with the power to purify corrupted land and restore balance to the region of Azuma, which has been plagued by natural disasters and mysterious forces. You'll be farming during peaceful moments, planting crops that can be used for cooking or selling, while also taming monsters you defeat in combat to help work your fields and produce materials. The combat system is real-time action, where you'll wield swords, spears, or magic against enemies in dungeons, leveling up your character and learning new skills as you progress through challenging boss encounters. The relationship system is extensive, with multiple romance candidates, each with their own storylines and personalities, and you can eventually marry and have children who grow up and help around the farm. Crafting goes deep with weapon forging, armor crafting, cooking, and chemistry for making potions and stat-boosting items. The festival system brings regular events where you can compete in contests, build relationships, and earn unique rewards.
HARVESTELLA sets itself apart with a darker, more serious narrative about a world where seasons are controlled by giant crystals, but a catastrophic event called quietus occurs between seasons, covering the land in deadly dust that threatens all life. You play as an amnesiac who must farm to survive while investigating the mystery behind quietus and your own forgotten past. The farming system is robust, with soil quality mechanics, crop mutations from crossbreeding plants, and seasonal limitations that force you to plan ahead for what you'll grow throughout the year. Combat is class-based, with multiple job options like Fighter, Mage, and Shadow Walker, each offering different abilities and playstyles that you can switch between to handle various enemy types in real-time battles. The dungeon exploration is substantial, with multiple lengthy areas filled with platforming challenges, puzzles, environmental hazards, and tough boss fights that require strategy and proper preparation. The story is surprisingly emotional and complex for a farming game, dealing with themes of mortality, sacrifice, and the cyclical nature of life and death as you recruit party members with their own tragic backstories. Harvest Moon, The Winds of Anthos delivers the most refined and content-rich farming experience on the Switch with its story about restoring a world devastated by a volcanic eruption decades ago. You're chosen by the Harvest Goddess to travel across the land, reviving harvest wisps that will restore nature and reconnect isolated villages that lost contact after the disaster. The game features an expansive world with multiple distinct biomes, including grasslands, deserts, tropical islands, snowy regions, and more, each requiring different approaches to farming based on their climate and available crops. Farming mechanics are incredibly polished, with intuitive controls, satisfying crop growth cycles, and a huge variety of plants and trees to cultivate across all seasons. Animal husbandry is in-depth with multiple species to raise, each producing different resources, and you'll need to keep them happy through proper care, feeding, and attention to maximize their productivity. The mutation system lets you crossbreed crops to discover new varieties with better yields or unique properties, adding a collection and experimentation element to your farming. You can tame wild animals you encounter in your travels, bringing them back to help on your farm or keeping them as pets, and there's even horseback riding for faster traversal across the large map. Garden Life, a cozy simulator, focuses purely on the zen art of gardening, without any of the usual farming game distractions like combat or complex relationships. You inherit a neglected garden and spend your time transforming it into a beautiful paradise filled with flowers, vegetables, trees, and decorative elements. The gameplay loop is incredibly relaxing. You're preparing soil beds, planting seeds, watering your plants daily, pruning overgrowth, and harvesting when things are ready. The game uses realistic gardening mechanics where you need to consider factors like sunlight exposure, soil quality, and companion planting to help your garden thrive. You'll unlock new plant varieties, garden ornaments, and tools as you progress, giving you more options to customize your space exactly how you envision it. The photography mode lets you capture your favorite garden moments, and there's a seasonal cycle that changes what you can grow and how your garden looks throughout the year. There's no time pressure or stress here. You work entirely at your own pace, making it perfect for unwinding after a long day. Disney Dreamlight Valley drops you into a magical realm where classic Disney and Pixar characters have lost their memories due to a mysterious force called the Forgetting. You're tasked with restoring the valley to its former glory by clearing away night thorns, rebuilding structures, and helping iconic characters like Mickey Mouse, Moana, and Wall-E remember who they are. The farming mechanics blend seamlessly with life simulation elements. You'll plant crops that grow in real time, harvest them for cooking recipes or selling, and use the profits to expand your valley and unlock new biomes. Each Disney character has their own friendship questline that slowly reveals the story while rewarding you with unique items and abilities, like Goofy helping you set up a stall to sell goods, or Remy from Ratatouille teaching you gourmet cooking recipes. The customization options are massive, with countless furniture pieces, clothing items, and decorative objects, letting you design your valley and character however you want. Mining, fishing, and foraging are all part of the gameplay loop, giving you resources to craft better tools and furniture while also completing requests from villagers.
You'll need to choose a good spot for it first. Then, plant some seeds, grab your royal watering can, and water your lovingly grown garden. The more attention you give to your garden, the more bountiful it will be. Don't those vegetables look delicious? And if they make you hungry, you're in luck. Remy will help you make the best of the ingredients.
Roots of Pacha takes you back to the Stone Age, where you're part of a clan trying to establish the first permanent settlement and discover agriculture for the first time. The story follows your clan's journey from primitive hunter-gatherers to advanced farmers who invent tools, domesticate animals, and unlock cultural developments that shape your growing village. You'll be planting primitive crops that you gradually improve through selective breeding, creating new varieties with better yields and resistance to different conditions. The social aspect is huge here. You'll build relationships with clan members through daily interactions, participate in communal activities like dancing and festivals, and even find romance, leading to marriage and raising children who become part of the village. The exploration mechanics have you venturing into surrounding wilderness to discover wild plants, animals, and resources that can be brought back and integrated into your settlement. You're not just farming for yourself, but contributing to the entire clan's survival and advancement, with your actions directly impacting what technologies and abilities everyone unlocks together. Farm Together is a persistent farming game where your farm continues growing even when you're not playing, meaning you can plant slow-growing crops and come back hours or days later to harvest them. The gameplay focuses on expanding your farm from a small plot into a massive agricultural empire with hundreds of different crops, trees, animals, and decorative items to unlock and place. You'll be managing multiple fields with different crops that have varying growth times, from quick turnips that mature in minutes to rare trees that take real-world weeks to produce fruit. The progression system rewards you with experience and leveling up, which unlocks new items, buildings, and customization options that keep you working toward the next milestone. You can raise a huge variety of animals, including standard farm creatures like cows and chickens, plus exotic options like ostriches and llamas, each producing different resources to sell or use in production buildings. The game supports online multiplayer, where friends can visit your farm and help with tasks like watering crops or feeding animals, with no griefing possible since visitors can't mess up your carefully planned layout. Story of Seasons: Friends of Mineral Town is a faithful remake of the classic Harvest Moon game that defined the farming sim genre, bringing updated graphics and quality of life improvements while maintaining the original's charm. You inherit your grandfather's old farm in the small town of Mineral Town and work to restore it to profitability while building relationships with the quirky townsfolk. The farming mechanics are traditional and satisfying. Till the soil, plant seeds, water them daily, and harvest when ready, with 9 different crops available each season that you'll need to plan around. You'll raise livestock like chickens, cows, and sheep by keeping them fed and happy, which increases the quality of their products like milk and eggs that sell for higher prices. The mine is a major feature, where you'll dig deeper floor by floor, fighting off monsters while searching for valuable ores and gems to upgrade your tools or give as gifts. Building relationships is core to the experience, with 12 marriage candidates split between male and female options, each requiring specific gifts and heart events to win their affection. The game follows a strict time system where each day is limited, forcing you to manage your stamina and prioritize tasks efficiently. Cattle Country focuses specifically on ranching and livestock management, setting itself apart from traditional farming sims by emphasizing animal husbandry over crop cultivation. You start with a small plot of land and a few animals, then build up to a massive ranch operation with dozens of cattle, sheep, horses, and other livestock roaming your property. The animal care system is detailed. You'll need to feed, water, and shelter your animals while monitoring their health and happiness levels that directly affect their productivity and market value. Breeding mechanics play a huge role as you'll select animals with desirable traits to produce offspring with better stats, gradually improving your herd's genetics over generations. The business management aspect has you making decisions about what animals to raise based on market prices that fluctuate, when to sell for maximum profit, and how to invest earnings into expanding your ranch with better facilities and equipment. You'll hire farmhands to help manage daily tasks as your operation grows, assigning them to specific jobs like feeding animals or maintaining fences. Story of Seasons: A Wonderful Life is a remake of another beloved Harvest Moon classic that follows your character's entire life journey from starting a farm to raising a family and eventually passing the farm to the next generation. The story begins with you inheriting a run-down farm and meeting a harvest sprite who's lost their magical power, which you'll help restore while building up your agricultural empire. The unique aspect here is that time moves faster than other farming games. Each season is only 10 days, and you'll watch your character age through multiple life stages with visible changes in appearance. You'll court and marry one of the marriage candidates in the first year, then have a child who grows from baby to toddler to child to teenager, with your parenting choices influencing what career path they eventually pursue. The farming focuses heavily on hybrid crops, where you can experiment crossing different plants to create new varieties with unique properties. Plus, there's a strong emphasis on animal husbandry, with cows producing different milk qualities based on care. The archaeology system has you digging up artifacts around the valley that can be sold or donated to the town's collection, adding a treasure hunting element to exploration. Fantasy Life I, The Girl Who Steals Time, combines farming simulation with action RPG elements and a time manipulation story about a girl who discovers she can steal time itself to prevent disasters. You'll choose from multiple lives, which are essentially job classes like Paladin, Wizard, Cook, or Farmer, each with unique abilities and progression paths that you can switch between freely. The farming mechanics are just one part of a much larger game where you'll also be exploring dungeons, battling monsters in real-time combat, gathering resources from the environment, and crafting items ranging from weapons to furniture. The story involves mysterious temporal anomalies threatening the world, and you'll team up with a cast of characters, including the time-stealing girl, to investigate these phenomena while building up your home and farm. The Lives system encourages trying everything you might spend a day. As a woodcutter chopping trees, switch to carpenter to craft furniture, then become a farmer to grow crops, all while progressing separate skill trees for each life. The game world is massive, with multiple regions to explore, each containing unique resources, monsters, and NPCs with their own questlines and problems to solve. Story of Seasons Grand Bazaar brings a refreshing twist to classic farming life sims on Nintendo Switch by centering its progression around Zephyrtown's weekly market, turning every in-game week into a satisfying cycle of preparation and payoff. You rebuild a small farm by planting crops, tending livestock like cows, sheep, chickens, and alpacas, and crafting processed goods through tools and windmills that turn raw materials into valuable items. Instead of the usual shipping box, the bazaar becomes your main economy. You set up your stall, arrange displays, ring bells to draw crowds, and sell directly to visitors, with higher bazaar ranks unlocking new shops, items, and town improvements. Daily activities still include mining, fishing, and foraging, each feeding into your market strategy as you stockpile resources or craft specialties to stand out during the Saturday rush. The social side brings warmth to the routine, as you form friendships, complete requests, and pursue relationships with a cast of lively characters who help the town regain its charm. Grand Bazaar strikes a comfortable balance between cozy farming and engaging economic management, giving players a steady rhythm of growth where thoughtful planning and creative presentation transform a quiet settlement into a bustling marketplace driven entirely by your efforts. Stardew Valley has become the gold standard for farming sims, offering an incredibly deep and polished experience where you inherit your grandfather's old farm in Pelican Town and escape the soul-crushing corporate life you left behind. The farming mechanics are perfectly balanced, with crops growing on daily cycles, sprinkler systems to automate watering, and seasonal planning required to maximize profits across spring, summer, fall, and winter. You'll explore a massive mine filled with monsters and valuable resources, fish in various locations with a surprisingly engaging minigame, forage for wild items in different environments, and raise animals that produce goods for selling or crafting. The relationship system is extraordinary, with 12 marriage candidates, each having unique personalities, preferences, and heart events that reveal their backstories and deepen your connection to them. Beyond romance, every single townsperson has a detailed schedule, dialogue that changes based on events and relationships, and their own interconnected stories that make Pelican Town feel genuinely alive. The Community Center restoration provides long-term goals through bundles that require specific items, and completing them unlocks town improvements and new areas to explore.
And there you have it, the top 20 best farming games on Nintendo Switch. Which farming game is your favorite? Let me know in the comments below. And if there's a farming game you think deserves to be on this list, I want to hear about it. If you enjoyed this video, smash that like button and subscribe to SwitchTop for more Nintendo Switch gaming content. Until next time!